This is total.
Hey, what the hell are we recording?
Yeah, and you're screwing up the intro.
What about my part? It's supposed to be our podcast, right?
Come on, man. I'm trying to be professional about this.
You know damn well there ain't nothing professional about what we're doing here. Welcome to Totally Unprofessional. It's Manuel and Justin, his two best friends shooting the breeze about nothing and about everything. We're separated by 10 years, 2 points of view on every subject from 2 different generations. Listen as we talk sports, events, and anything else that might come up. There's nothing professional about what we're doing here, hence the name, Totally Unprofessional. All right, welcome to next podcast.
This is the Friday edition. This would be the 10th episode.
Is it 10 already?
10.
Son of a bitch.
5 weeks we've been doing this. We're doing 2 a week.
Peep this. Guess who's looking for it now?
Who?
My mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Your mom's going to be a subscriber?
Yeah,
That's right.
Christina called me earlier and she tells me, hey, what's the name of the podcast? And I was like, she goes, people are screaming at me for it. I was like, really? Who's screaming at you for it? She's all, your mom. I was like, oh, shit. So, Mom, if you're listening, I'll try to stay positive.
No, how about this? So my mom tells me yesterday, she goes, hey, are you going to have your sister on the podcast? Well, she's here. And I said, probably not, but I'm going to have, you know who on the podcast. So, and I say you know who because, like I said, the plans are Monday he'll be here. So I start laughing, and she goes, hey, wait a minute. Do you cuss on there? I said, Mom, I'm grown. I'm 28 years old. Fuck yeah, I cuss on there.
That's the way it rolls sometimes, Mom. Sorry.
I've been outside of the first 3 episodes. I think it's been pretty good. It's come down.
It's been real clean. Well, we've settled down. I don't think the excitement's there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think we've gotten into a routine type flow.
Yeah.
Where it's not as
yeah, for sure.
So
I was off Monday.
Right.
Left Justin solo.
Okay. So let me get into little interview status here with you a little bit. I announced on Monday that you had some time off this week to do the dad thing because the kids were graduating.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I forgot to mention that Manuel was graduating too.
Yeah.
So that's little Manuel. So how was that this week with 1 going into high school and 2 going out?
Shit, that was. I can't ever remember being busier in my whole damn life. This starts. If you have kids that have graduated, you know this. It doesn't start the week of graduation. It starts the week before. They've got to be here. They've got to be there. Of course, Angela had her Valley track meet 2 weeks ago. So we're squeezing this in, squeezing that in. I'm trying to keep up with work because if I don't work overtime at work, it starts piling up. So we got through it, but holy shit, you want to talk about a shitstorm that just, I got to do this. And then here we are. It's Monday and it's like, oh man, are you serious? Okay, I got this to do, that to do, that to do, that to do. Manuel's got to go here. The twins have to go there. Janessa's here. We're trying to get her ready. She's gone now.
Oh, that's right.
She went back up to Janessa Park today. So, trying to get her and her car ready. She's got no money. Of course, it's Daddy, can I have?
ATM of the parents.
No, what's even better is she's gotten to Daddy, can I borrow? So as I'm keeping her running tab right now, I'm going to hit her with it.
Make sure
her first paycheck's going to be half mine.
Nice.
So, but it was awesome. Wednesday, we were at the Munson Sultana graduation. That was pretty fun. That school, Manuel's been there since 2nd grade, I think. I'd have to confirm that with Christina.
So he's been there almost the entire time?
Pretty much the whole time. And then Janessa got there in 7th. Janessa graduated 5 years ago from there, valedictorian. Manuel graduated last night, got a couple of awards. It was pretty cool. Or Wednesday night, sorry. That was pretty fun. I'm going to miss that school. It's real hard to get in. I mean, when we got in, Janessa got in as a 7th grader, Manuel as a 2nd grader. Those were the only 2 slots open. We couldn't get them. We were never able to get the twins in there.
Oh, I thought it was a choice that they just chose not to go.
If we had our way, all 4 of them would have been over there. And really, it ended up being better for Janessa because she was challenged a little more academically, and it worked out better for her in the end. But I'm going to miss that school. I'm going to miss the staff. They are tremendously staffed from top to bottom, kindergarten all the way to 8th. We know a couple of the teachers there, and they are great people. And when I say people, I didn't say teachers. They're great teachers. I think that goes without being said. But they are great people there. They genuinely care for the kids. I don't want to make it sound like the local city school district does not. But with them having just a K through 8 and being their own school district, there's a lot more personal time that can go into teaching the kids studies. So Manuel and Janessa both benefited from that. Janessa, she's a brain. If you know Janessa, she's very intelligent. Not a lot of common sense, but very intelligent. But Manuel really benefited from that. Teachers having a little bit more time to stop it and maybe push him a little more, maybe motivate him, whatever it was. They were all able to do it from 2nd all the way to 8th. He had phenomenal teachers. I'll forever be grateful for that. I don't know where he would have fallen in the system here with the twins. So that one was fun. We said goodbye to some teachers. Miss Pauls, we're gonna miss you. That woman is just phenomenal choir teacher. She taught Janessa. She taught Manuel.
She helps with the choir at the church you guys go to too, correct?
No, she doesn't attend our church. But our church, because her family's, I know her older sister goes there, and I know her parents are still there.
I was gonna say, I could have swore she played the piano a few times.
She's played the piano.
Oh,
she's done some cameos there.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe she attends another church, but they let her host her winter concerts there for Santana and stuff. So it's a mutually beneficial to her and the church. So right. But we're gonna miss her tremendously. She's to Janessa, to Manuel. I mean, she was awesome. I could sit here and I could tell you about every teacher either one of them had, and nothing but positive things to say. Sultana, we're going to miss you. My family's going to miss you. Of course, we'll probably still poke our way in. There's some kids going there that we know that will graduate. So. Right. And then, of course, the twins graduated last night.
Yes.
That was another whirlwind. I mean, you want to talk about just, whew. I remember graduating high school, and that was back 95, 21 years ago. We were the largest class in Dinuba history to graduate from there. 210 kids or something like that. There were 700 graduates last night, I think they said.
Damn, that was the official number?
I mean, I think that was the official
number.
Dude,
that's double of what was in my class.
Yeah, I mean, they're growing. It's unreal. I know I've heard talk about a second high school coming in.
Yeah.
That would be pretty crazy because you're going to split what's become, I don't want to say a dominant school athletically, but from top to bottom, we compete in pretty much everything, and we don't have to share our athletes like Clovis and Fresno do. So that'll be interesting to watch, but they got through. There was never any doubt with those two. Right. They're B students. We're all okay with it. If you know my girls, one of them's going to Reedley. The other one will be leaving to Peru on a missionary trip in June, the end of June. So if you're a praying person, you pray for her and let her have God lead her. Don't pray for Jasmine, though, because she's going to school, and I want her to get scared. So.
I was just about to say, too, why not pray for both of them? That makes sense.
Jasmine, I think, is just feeling her way out right now. I think she's going to try to find herself over there in Reedley. She knows what she wants to do. Unfortunately, we got the wrong information early, or we would have registered her. But one semester in Reedley will give her time to getting used to driving, because she's going to have to go to Fresno City if she wants to take that program that she wants. Oh. So it'll get her used to driving. 1 semester of driving, going around. She's already got a job. So hopefully it'll all pan out. I'm sure. Well, I shouldn't even say hopefully. It'll pan out whether she decides she wants to keep going that direction or she changes her mind.
I went to City for a semester. Didn't work out well, but
I went briefly. It wasn't quite a semester, but yeah. So the graduation. I mean, you were there. It was oh man, you had people lined up to take pictures.
I mean, I was glad that the weather was awesome. That breeze was beautiful.
And how about today? I mean, can you imagine sitting through the graduation right now? We'd be sitting down there. Oh man, it's like
we'd be cooking.
It's 98 degrees outside. We're not even in the garage right now. We're inside in nice, cool air conditioning.
Yeah. So it was. The weather was perfect for the graduation. It did run a little longer than I would have thought, but knowing now that there were 700 kids, no wonder. And it was good that the girls got to go in line to get their diplomas with their friends.
Yes.
I thought that was prearranged, but you said that was chance.
The randomness of the draw put the twins and Alora in the line, and then Jacob was a couple rows back, but he was on the same side.
And Frank
Zilla was out there too, and then actually you had Lou, Angela, Jasmine, and then Frankie in that same row, so that was pretty cool.
And then the tech guy also graduated last night.
Tech guy was on the opposite side though. We
were waiting for him, but he was on the other side.
They were on the other side. We're gonna give Tech guy a shout out for his graduation. He graduated last night. He's on a countdown now to leave to the military. He'll leave September 8th or something like that, if I remember right.
So we got to get our tech savvy skills together. Quit playing around.
That should be fun. But yeah, this morning I woke up and I get to work, and everybody's asking me, what's it like to have 2 more graduates? I said, well, I'm a day older than I was yesterday. It doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything to me, but I mean, in the grand scope of things, it's just a small step forward. The bigger steps are still to be taken.
I think that, like, in the bigger picture, yes, you're right. That it's a small step. It's not a ginormous step, but at the same time, it's a sentimental moment.
Yeah.
That you can look back at how crazy and how fast your kids have grown.
Well, especially with, the Bedoyas gave the memorial last night, and when you stop and think, you talk about life being fragile. I mean, they lost their son last year, a month and a half after he graduated from Fresno State, and man, that hit the community hard. You know, he was a great kid. He was doing big things already. He was going to graduate, be a full-time teacher. He was already
coaching.
Yeah, he was already influencing kids. I mean, it hurts to lose someone like that, but you talk about life being fragile. That's a perfect example right there. Is you graduate, you don't know what's going to be promised next. You know, you may just make it past graduation. The world lost a real good guy, a young man in that guy when he passed. So I wanted to give the Bedoyas a shout out. They gave that memorial scholarship, and the support they had from the community. Holy cow!
Not only that, but to have Michael stand up there last night and give that speech.
It shows how far he's come in a year too. They struggled. I mean, I can't imagine anybody not struggling.
I mean, for me, only at the age of 28, he was younger than I am.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's a mortality check for you.
Yeah,
But the family was real strong yesterday. They gave away 13? 13
It was a total of $9,000.
Yeah. And that's the support from the community when they understood what was going on. It was a good moment.
It was pretty awesome to see.
Angela received a scholarship from the Amy and Linda Guiba Memorial. If you don't know them, they were killed in a drunk driving accident. I think it's been 4 years now. And they were really good friends. Amy and Linda were very good friends with Angela and Jasmine and Janessa. And Janessa got that scholarship last year. Oh. So it was real awesome to see Angela get it. We don't know if she'll be able to use it because, of course, those scholarships are geared towards your education.
Right.
But she went in and asked if they would allow her to apply it towards her cost for the missions trip because the twins. Okay, so now I got to separate a little bit. If I'm talking about Amy and Linda were very into their faith. They were real faith-based. They were about sharing their faith. So Angela's thinking if she asked, which she did, and I think it'll be up to the family eventually, or maybe Mrs. I don't remember, Pennebaker I think is in charge of it. It'll be up to them to decide whether or not they can use that, and if not, they roll it over next year, and whoever gets it next year will just get a double scholarship.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, so it was awesome to see that. I was getting upset with the scholarships because my girls weren't getting any, and here I got one that's going to go to college, and she's not getting any scholarships, and I was like, hey, Bonehead, that was Jasmine. I said, hey, Bonehead, how come you didn't apply for any? And she looked at me and I said, oh, that's right. You got to be 3.0 student for most of these scholarships.
Oh.
You know, and she's like a 2.8, 2.9.
She's right on the bubble.
Right on the hole. So it's like, okay, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry, Miha. You know, I probably shouldn't have yelled at you, but if you were just a little bit smarter, you know. You know, but no, so, you know, we went through the ceremony and we came home. We were hanging out and the best part of last night, I shared it at work too. I told you last night. You know, these kids, they're all happy to graduate high school, but they have no idea the ass kicking they're about to get in life.
Oh yeah.
You know, whether it's college or whether it's going out into the workforce or trade school. Yeah. You know, the life is what kicks you in the ass. High school does not.
Seeing a lot of those kids afterwards that came up, shook my hand, I gave them hugs, took pictures with them. I said, you need to understand something. I said, it's all fun and games. That part's over.
The funny games is over.
And they were like, and one of them looked at me and went, what do you mean? I said, no. Tonight's cool. Enjoy tonight. I'm glad, like, you got the fireworks. You got this. This is like one of the last times you're gonna have this many people around you. I said, because once Monday comes, you're gonna realize, oh, this is still summer. And then when August gets here and you realize you don't go back to school like the rest of the kids, there's this thing that sets in where you're like, wait a minute.
What now?
What? Wait, I'm kind of lost a little bit here.
What next?
And then it picks up as you get into college. You can go to school or you go to a job, whichever you do, or you're waiting to go to the military, whatever it is. Life comes at you fast, and it don't wait for you. And it'll knock you on your ass real fast.
Yes, it will.
So, yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing where the great things that, you know, all three of them are going to do. Manuel in high school.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to see him in the picture with you because, holy shit, dude.
Big boy.
Like, I know that he's tall. I see him, you know, on a regular basis here at the house and stuff, but to see him in that photo standing next to you was just, and the cap and gown, and he's just like already right there. Like, I was like, damn, dude, like this, he's gonna outgrow you for sure.
Oh, definitely. I'll be the short one in the family when he's done.
So yeah, and then the twins, obviously, that, you know, looking forward to big things from both of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I told Angela, you were talking about, once August gets here, well, Angela will be gone from the last week of June until the first week of August. And then she gets back. I told her first rent payment is due September 1st. Because she's not going to go to school.
Right.
So
that's the deal. That was the deal at my house. If you didn't go to school, your ass got a job when you were paying rent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll get a nice surprise for her. I've been looking for a truck for her, trying to get situated.
You can't ship that to Peru.
No. Well, no, it'll stay here. Well, here's the funny part. Okay, so I was going to go out and buy 2 cars.
Right.
And, no, I'm not rich. They were going to get little beaters like I had, So
yes, there's a ladder to this shit. All right.
So I was gonna buy 2, one for Angela and one for Jasmine, and I thought, wait a minute, okay, this might be a little bit of overkill because Janessa, she has her car and it stays here. It doesn't go to Kansas with her. So if she takes off, I always say if because you never know. She's enrolled, but we still got time.
Right.
So let's assume she does. She's going back to Tabor, like she says. Her car stays here. If I get Angela and Jasmine a car, that's 3 children's cars parked out front, one of which will never get used. So I figured, well, you know what? Jasmine can use Janessa's car while Janessa's gone, and Angela will, and that's why I'm shopping for one for a little truck for her. So I'll throw this one out there. So I had told you I was going to go look at a truck.
Yes.
He told me to hold on a little bit, so I waited. Calls me back. I get to the house. And I go to knock on the door, and this redheaded kid opens the door. He couldn't have been 20 years old. He could have even been 16 or 17. So he comes out, and he goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I looked at him. I said, "How old are you, kid?" And he looked at me, and he straightened up. I'm just here for the truck. You want to look at the truck? I said, "Yeah, let me look at the truck, kid." So we go outside. Mind you, I'm probably at least 20 years older than this guy. Okay, and it's a habit of me to call the young men that old kids. It's just It was what was done to me, and it's just something that I carry with. So we're out there looking at the truck. So if you've never bought a used car, you can use this as advice. So I go over. I said, "Go ahead, fire it up for me." So he turns it on. I pop the hood, touch the radiator cap. It's not hot. Pop the cap off. I want to see the color of the coolant. I want to make sure it's on the greener or oranger side, whatever is applicable to that car. That one was green. I want to make sure it's more green than rusty. And I want to make sure I can see the coolant moving in it. That means the water pump's working decent. Pop it open. A little bit brown, but it's an older truck. It's an 89 Ranger.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, that's not bad. It's not like that one we saw in Fresno.
Oh, gosh.
So I pull the radiator cap, and it looks good. I was like, okay, good. Close it. Start poking around a little bit. I can see a little bit of oil leaking. I said, "Hey, do you know what's leaking?" And he goes, "I think it's the power steering pump, but I'm not sure." And I look around. I said, "Oh, that looks like a fair assumption." So I'm looking around. Doesn't look like it's spilling oil. Pull it dipstick. It's not full, so I know there's probably a little oil leak, but it's probably not bad. It's probably the valve covers. It's typical, So I pull the oil. I sniff the oil dipstick, and he's like just staring at me. Go to the put it back in. Go to the other side. Pull the transmission dipstick. Smell it. Don't want to make sure it doesn't smell too burnt. It should be a little burnt, but it shouldn't like reek of something burnt toast or something.
Yeah.
So I put it back in. I look at it. Now, okay. So check this out. I saw this ad first like a week ago. And I didn't remember what price he put on it, but last night I ran across it again. So I sent him a text. This was before we left the graduation. Sent him a text last night. I said, "Hey, you still got the truck?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll take $1,000 for it." And I was like, well, let me go look at it tomorrow if you're all right. He goes, $1,200 and it's yours. And I'm thinking, okay, this kid wants to dump it. This guy wants to dump it. I thought it was an older guy.
Yeah.
Guy wants to dump it. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm at work today. I had a little bit of extra time. Went on Craigslist, popped it up again. Look, he's got it listed for $800. So I'm like, what's this guy trying to throw $1,000, $1,200 at me? So I'm looking at it. I get done looking at it, and I said, "Let me ask you something." He goes, "Anything." I said, "You have $800 on the Craigslist poster." He goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm asking for." I go, "Why'd you tell me $1,000 last night?" He goes, "You said, would I take $1,000?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "I didn't say that." So I go through the text messages. Well, I mean, last night we're in the middle of leaving graduation.
Yeah.
Okay, stupid spell check thinks it knows what I want to say.
And it said $1,000.
And it said $1,000, So I'm like, oh, damn it. So that's why he said $1,200. And I said, okay, look, here's the deal, kid. I get what I said, but you're only asking $8, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. I said, I'll give you $8. I'll go drive to the bank right now and I'll bring back $8. And he's like, well, I got 2 other people that are going to come look at it. So if you don't mind, I said, hey, you do what you got to do. Just know that I'll give you $8. I'll give you your asking price for it. Because on the ad, it says $800 or best offer. So I'm imagining somebody's going to come in without knowing that he's looking. Because I told him, I go, to get your best price, I said, I'll tell you. I'm not trying to jack you around. You want your best price? Don't tell them somebody offered you $8. See what they're going to give you. And if somebody lowballs you, they're not worth it. Yeah. I mean, so he's like, okay. I said, if he says, I'll give you $7, then tell him, somebody's going to give me $8 already. I said, but I'm good to 8. If he offers you 8, you got to call me back. And he goes, oh, no. Yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, just, shoot me a text. Let me know what's going on. If I got to come back tonight, I'll come back tonight. He's like, all right. I said, all right, thanks, kid. And he goes, oh, yeah, and the rotors are in the front seat. I go, rotors? Yeah, the brake rotors. And I looked. I was like, are those brakes trash? He goes, no, but when I went to do the brakes last time, they said they didn't have to turn them, but they were going to need the rotors. But so I bought them. And I was thinking of checking the brakes, so I wanted to have them, but I didn't end up checking them, so they're there. And I was like, all right, fair enough.
So they were new rotors sitting in the front.
Brand new rotors sitting in a box. They're still in the box in the front seat. So I'm kind of hoping, if you keep seeing me poke at my phone, it's
that's why.
I'm hoping that guy's going to text back and go, hey, I got...
Hey, well, as long as it's on vibrate, because if it goes off, you know what the deal.
It's on vibrate. But, so busy week, man. I woke up this morning with a little bit of sigh of relief. I think Aqua's breathing a little bit easier in the house now. It's not going to be as crazy around here. We can finally settle down. I forgot Manuel's got summer school because he's in the engineering program.
Right.
So I don't want to say summer school is mandatory, but they want him to take it, especially since his math was a little weak. So he'll take math. And I forgot about that. He was all bummed out. He's like, "Oh, you get 4 days off, Dad." I was like, son, you wanted to be in the engineering program, so that's part of what you got to do, So he's like, "All right." It did buy him some time though, because I was going to ship him off with my dad a couple of weeks to drive truck with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we all did it. I did it. My brother did it. Even my nephew Judy did it. So it's a good rite of passage in the family. He'll go and he'll have to bust his butt, and he'll understand. Yeah, I better stay in school. Grandpa's a laborer. Dad was a laborer for a long time. I don't want to be a laborer. That's kind of what I want to put in his mentality.
Makes sense.
But hey, I want to give another shout out to the city of Fresno for not tearing down the city of Fresno while Trump was there today.
Oh,
they were well behaved today. There was no violent protests. I know it got a little heated, but they didn't tear the Fresno apart. They didn't tip over cop cars or burn anything. I won't discuss what issues I have with Hispanics right now. Bear in mind, I do have Hispanic descent in me, but I'm not going to share that because I'm a little pissed off at Hispanic people right now. It's pretty ignorant what they're doing out there, And I got a friend who did go and attend it and sent me the video, and I'm listening to Trump, And I'm not going to sit here and try to tell anybody politicians speak nothing but truth. It's a bunch of BS so that they can get in the office, but... I am going to go to the Bernie Sanders one on Sunday in Visalia.
Oh, he's going to be in Visalia?
He'll be in Visalia. And a lot of people were like, you're just going to go and cause a ruckus. I legitimately I'm not. I want to go and I want to hear this guy.
Yeah, you want to hear him out?
I know I'm not going to vote for Hillary. That's the bottom line. But these two clowns are the other ones left. And I want to make sure I have a good picture that's not clouded by the media. You got a rare opportunity to hear these guys in person without the media clipping it and editing it and implying anything. Go listen to him,
Yeah.
So I'm going to go listen to Bernie.
You know who a big Bernie Sanders supporter is, right?
Oh, crap. Who's that?
Tommy Chong.
Oh, well, okay. That,
He's got a slogan, too, to go with Bernie's campaign.
Yeah.
It's called Get America Stoned Again.
He'd be okay with Trump, too, because Trump's going to legalize it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Trump did say something interesting, though, that he's going to open the valve up north and let the water come back this way instead of towards the Delta smelt. That's a real big argument with farmers. So this could turn out to be interesting.
My understanding as far as the water goes, and this is purely speaking on a party and floating reference, the water was supposed to be in by beginning of next week.
Yes.
So there's a big old thing.
Well, the water, they're filling it up right now, but one of the problems the Central Valley has is the water is diverted that way and dumped into the ocean to protect the smelt. And it's like, okay, dude, I get it. The fish, they're dying, whatever you want to say. But last I checked, human life was more valuable than animal life. So that water needs to come this way. If the smelt go bye-bye, let's see what the repercussions are, and we'll go from there. Yeah. They've cloned a freaking goat, a cat. You're going to tell me they can't clone a damn fish and get it to reproduce?
Right.
Come on. Unreal. But anyways,
enough
politics. So yesterday, let's go back to yesterday. We're going to sports?
Yes.
Okay.
Sports.
So,
sports business.
Okay, so...
yesterday, during the graduation... My girlfriend's sitting next to me, and about 30 minutes in, I said, I need to know the score on the Warrior game. And she looked at me, she said, the Warriors aren't even your team. I said, I love basketball. What's the score on the Warrior game?
Were they up or were they down?
They were ahead when I first checked by 9. For obviously, if you're a basketball fan, you know this, but if not, the Warriors did come out on top. They got the win. So the series is now 3-2. Oklahoma City is up.
But they're going back to Oklahoma.
So they're going back to Oklahoma again. Every game is a must-win for Golden State.
Yeah.
And they showed, of course, people are showing the famous picture of Scottie Pippen in the shoot-around wearing the shirt from the 72 and 10 team that said, if you ain't got the ring, it don't mean a thing.
Yeah.
So, to me, I understand where they're coming from, that you got to have the title. If you don't have the ring, then it doesn't count. And there's even people that have gone as far as saying that if they don't win the finals, that they're worse than the Patriots at 18-1 on the David Tyree catch.
Well, the other comparison they're making right now is the 2001 Mariners. Do you remember that team?
The 2001 Mariners?
Yeah.
No.
Of course you don't, because they didn't win the
series. Wait, is that the team that won 117 games?
Yes, and lost the series.
Yeah.
So
they didn't make the series.
Well, they didn't make the series. They were eliminated.
They lost in the playoffs.
Yeah. So there's a big old argument. They're gonna go both ways with it. Here's the better argument. Okay. I'm gonna make this a movie relation here. All right. Okay. So you've seen Tin Cup, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's one of my favorite movies. It's a golf movie. All right.
Right.
In Tin Cup, at the end, his 18th hole, his inner demon, he says, comes out.
Yeah.
The guy goes out there and puts, I think it was 6 balls in the drink, and then he finally hits
he keeps asking for balls.
He's down to his last ball. He stiffs up a 3-wood and knocks it down and puts it in the freaking hole in, I think it was 12 or 13 if I remember right. And he needed a birdie to win or a par to tie. Okay, at the end of that movie. His girlfriend in that movie is Renee Russo.
Yes.
Okay, so he's walking over and he's like, "Oh crap! I can't believe it! I just lost the reality of what he just did was sinking in. I just lost the U.S. Open." Okay. Then she runs into the picture. They're hugging, kissing, and he's like, "I knew what the save shot was. I knew what it was going to take to win, and I still just screwed it up." And she's like, "You're not understanding this. What you just did was bigger than the championship. You just." In 10 years, nobody's going to remember who won it and who lost it, but they're going to remember your 12 because it was the greatest 12 ever. Now, I don't know greatest 12 ever or whatever being a golfer's vocabulary because it's not a good score.
Right.
But the shot itself stood out above. So the question, the argument, they're going back and forth, and I listened to Mad Dog on my way to work.
Right.
The question going back and forth is, does that record mean anything if they don't have a ring? Did New England's record mean anything? I'd say it did, only because they were the first ones to go 16-0 in a regular season. Because
they were not.
Well, hold on. The Dolphins were 16-0 after the season,
Super Bowl, yeah.
after the Super Bowl. Yeah. So the first 16-0 regular season is definitely achieved by the Patriots.
Right.
When we talk Patriots, when we talk about this stuff, I always remember 18-1. I'm always going to remember that. The team that did not win the Super Bowl. Right. That's what's going to ring in my head. So, and I'm not even a basketball guy. But I'm going to tell you straight up right now, if they don't win the ring, what did all those wins mean? What are you going to remember about this year? You're going to remember how ridiculous Stephen Curry played. That's what you're going to remember.
I think more so, I disagree. I think what they're going to remember is how OKC, essentially shut them down.
Yeah. Because
they're not losing close games.
No,
they're getting blown out of the water. And to be as dominant as they were all year long... Like, if it was a record where, it was 15 losses was the record, something like that, and they came into the playoffs and they lost some and stuff like that, and you're just kind of like, damn, well, you know what? I think that they can, if they lost, okay, but this is a single-digit loss.
Yeah.
Out of 82 games. You didn't even lose 10 games.
Yeah.
So, that's dominance. All year long, never lost back-to-back. In the playoffs, they did not lose back-to-back until Game 4. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I think that if you're going to look back and go, damn, OKC shut them down. I'm not going to say Russell Westbrook shut them down, but shut Steph Curry down. But I will say that Oklahoma City's game plan and, good Lord, Billy Donovan, welcome to the NBA.
So we're saying that. Is Donovan the difference?
Yes.
Okay, so now knowing Donovan's the difference, who's the other one? Who's the other college coach doing big things?
Doing big things?
Yeah. Pete Carroll.
Oh, the NFL, yeah.
Their background in developing a certain kind of player. Donovan, they were talking yesterday about Donovan being able to develop a big man.
Yes.
And look at what he's done with.
Well, you know who his two most well-known big men are?
Joakim Noah and
Al Horford.
Yes. Yeah. So they're talking about that, and so Billy Donovan is a difference. You look at what Pete Carroll doing in Seattle; it's the same thing. He's developing a certain breed of player, and it's being successful. But to get back on Oklahoma, on the Golden State, I think if you're a basketball fan, if you're an NBA fan, I think the record is always going to mean something to you because you're a person of basketball interest, like football interest with me. I'm always going to remember the Patriots going 18-0 and then losing in the Super Bowl. I'm always going to remember the Dolphins undefeated 16-0.
Right.
I'm going to remember the 83 Bengals, the 88 Bengals. I'm going to remember the damn 83 and 88 Niners. I'm going to remember Steve Young and Joe Montana because I'm a football guy. A non-football guy would say, yeah, I remember the Niners won a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to remember who they beat. I'm going to remember what years they beat them. I'm going to remember most of the named players on those teams.
Right.
So I think to a basketball fan, it will live. I think to a casual basketball fan, I don't think it will. They're probably going to remember Oklahoma more than anything because one of the other subjects they were discussing was Oklahoma. Okay, so who is what here? Is Golden State doing what they've done all year and Oklahoma just got better? Or is Golden State playing down now and now Oklahoma can beat them because they're not playing to their potential? Is this the same Golden State team that won 82 games this year?
You mean 73 games?
73 games, sorry.
No, but I mean, it's not an excuse though because at this point, everybody's banged up.
You should be honed.
That's not the point though.
And really, with Curry out, I don't want to say they look better, but holy
No,
cow.
I don't think that that's true. I just think that they've set the bar this year so damn high, and including Curry as on an individual level.
Yeah.
When you don't see Steph going off for 40, when you don't see him knocking down 7 threes, 6 threes in a game, and then rattling off what he does, people go, well, what? Like, it's one of those things where, and it's a lot like this in society now, much like it is in sports now. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And no matter how big of a feat 73 wins are, no matter how big his MVP year was as a unanimous MVP
First ever.
for the first ever time, I think people are still going to look back and go, well, what is that? Like, that was then. This is like, what about now? You're supposed to be the champion now. The Bay Area actually doing big things. Sharks moved on to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in team history. So good for them. The Cavs are currently playing right now.
Are they up?
They were ahead by 14 at halftime with Toronto.
Will the real Cavs team please step forward? So we didn't because it happened in between pods, but so you're going to tell me Toronto one night is 17 points better than Cleveland, and then the next night 38 points worse?
Behind them, yeah.
I mean, hello, Cleveland, what the hell are you doing? Or is there an understanding within that team? Hey, let's throw this conspiracy concept out there, all right? Is there an agreement among the team that they need to log some game minutes right now because they know they can beat them, but they need to get some floor time because they just didn't have it coming into this series?
No, I don't think that that's ever the case. I mean, my personal opinion as a basketball guy, I think that ideally you want a series to go about 5 games, maybe 6. Mm-hmm. So you're not sitting very long for the next round if that next round's going. Because if a team hits their stride at the end of a series and you've been sitting on your ass waiting for them, most opportunities that come up are that the team that was rolling are the ones that wind up coming out and punching you in the mouth because you've been sitting. So I don't think that there's a conscious effort to be like, oh, to sit there and say, oh, no, I want to play longer. We got to have these minutes. I just think that it's one of those things where they're inconsistent because they've been sitting before this. Yeah. So some nights they're on and they're just on it. And then other nights you got the Raptors that wake up and go, we're the Raptors. We were the, Atlantic champions. Yeah. Like, we belong here. And they show up, and it kind of bumps them back.
Make the Celtics loss in the first round to them easier to swallow.
No, because the Celtics are my team. that's why. Say what you want to call it a Celtics nut hug or whatever. Like that's my team. It doesn't make it any easier.
So one of the big stories today, I'm sure you've heard it at some point. I was laughing my ass off when I heard it this morning. So the interview with Durant and Westbrook last night.
Oh,
they asked Westbrook. Do you think is Curry underrated as a defender? He couldn't answer with just cause, I would say. Because I think one-on-one, I think Westbrook is a better player offensively than Curry is defensively. But the same could be said vice versa. Well, but I think Westbrook can defend Curry if he has to. I think
that they're different players. Because when you look at Westbrook, he's a slasher that gets to the bucket. Can he knock down a 3? Yeah, if you leave him open. But he's not the type of guy that's going to pull up from 30 feet and you just sit there and look at him and go, "That's going in."
Yeah.
That he's not that guy.
Yeah.
When you look at Steph's like, "That's fine. If I can't get to the basket, I'll just step back."
Yeah.
Or step around or whatever. And I think that on any given night, you could flip that coin defensively on who you're going to get. Now, who do I think takes more pride in defense? I think that's Westbrook. Because he likes those breakaway dunks.
Yeah.
It gives him momentum. It gives his team momentum.
Yeah.
And he's got that swagger about him when he gets those dunks. He's a little obnoxious for me. Even as a Conor McGregor fan, Russell Westbrook is obnoxious to me. It's one of those things where he's got to have that. And I think that he takes more pride in that than whereas Steph goes, this is a team defensive thing, whereas Russell Westbrook looks at it and takes that defense on himself on a regular basis, night in and night out. But, I mean, I don't think the rest of that OKC team thinks the same.
No.
And I think that it shows from time to time.
Well, and you definitely got to like the matchup with Westbrook, with Curry guarding Westbrook.
Yeah.
I mean, because Thompson obviously rattles Westbrook sometimes. Him and Iguodala, you can tell when they're defending him, he's just a little bit slower. He thinks a little bit more.
A little more hesitant.
It's not a flow there for him. But when Curry's on him, he seems to want to go for the throat. But I thought that was interesting. This when I was listening. His boy, of course, his boy Durant jumps in and bails him out with that.
He's been a little more outspoken in these playoffs.
Well, we talked about him possibly leaving. There's no way he's going anywhere now. Not with the way that team looks when they're on.
Now it looks like Scott Brooks was the weak link.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question to you. As a casual basketball fan, previously now into basketball a little more deeper, do you feel that this is smoke and mirrors? That it just so happened that everything lined up this year for them, that they were able to take down an older San Antonio team finally, that they have some good pieces. I don't think they have the right pieces, to be honest with you, but the things have just lined up for them in the right way at the right time, and that next year it's not going to be the same.
I think if they can retain their roster, of course they're going to add a piece or two. Donovan's going to try to do that. But we talked a little bit about the coach's role and what they're good at. A lot of the argument was always that Oklahoma didn't have a big man. Right. Yeah, they got Durant, but they didn't have a big man. Well, bring in Adams, bring in Donovan, and now you got a big man developer, and they can move and they can put a piece here.
And they've expanded Ibaka's game.
And and then that was the other half of it was he's a defensive
player.
I don't want to say guru, but Donovan's a defensive guy. Get Ibaka to play a little bit better defense. Now you got a big man in the middle. You've added to it's the pieces filling in.
Yeah.
Roster wise, is it as good as Golden State? No way. But collectively, with their 6-man rotation, 7-man rotation, they've got the guys who can compete when Durant and Westbrook need to sit.
See, I think has been a major problem is Golden State not capitalizing on those opportunities. Because if you look at the box scores, even last night, up until about 5 minutes left in that game last night, Steph Curry's shooting percentage was in the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad. And combined, this is Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, the Splash Brothers combined last night. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it was 5 of 19 from 3-point line.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's horrible. Yeah. And they won that game.
Yeah.
You know what saved their ass last night? Andrew
true.
Bogut and Maurice Speeds. They said Bogut had a double-double.
Did he? And
Speeds had a 3, and then he had, I believe it was like 12 points or something like that off the bench. Barnes, horrible night. Iguodala, didn't know he was even there. I mean, it's one of those things where you get those pieces and...
So do you really feel that's Golden State not capitalizing, or is that Oklahoma stepping up?
No, I feel like that's
going to be the question.
If you win 73 games, you're the returning champion. You've been there. You faced a guy in LeBron James that last year, every time he came out, granted his 2 other helpers were not playing in those games, they knew when he was off the floor, they had to jump at their throats, and they did.
Yeah.
They're not doing that in this series.
No.
When Durant's not on the floor and Westbrook's not on the floor, that is their opportunity to make those bench guys understand why they are bench guys.
Yeah.
And they are not capitalizing.
They're not doing it, no.
Or either that or they don't have the confidence that they should in doing so.
Yeah.
Because momentum is definitely on OKC's side. Even though Golden State won last night, they still have to win.
2 more
all the way out to get it.
Yeah.
And all OKC needs is one slip.
Yeah.
The margin for error with OKC right now just shrunk even more. So you can't have an off night and expect that they're going to be like, oh, we have an off night too. Let's see 7. And I said this. I stand by my pick. I'm not changing. I still have Golden State winning the title this year. So
interesting.
I definitely think they can come back.
I had taken Cleveland. I just thought that as long as Love and
Irving
could stay healthy, I thought that was the best 5-person team. I don't have the bench, and if it comes down to Golden State or Oklahoma's bench versus Cleveland, they're done. But man, like you saw, I think what was it, Game 2 against the Raptors? That was just, I mean, even from the tip off, it wasn't even close. I think that per 5-person team, I think that team is definitely better. So, but okay, so I think we covered everything in basketball, right?
Yeah, covered everything in basketball. There are fights this weekend on Sunday.
Sunday or is it Saturday?
No, it's Sunday. It's Memorial Day. They're a little bit earlier. Prelims start at 4 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
The headliner is Alameda versus Garbrandt, however you pronounce his name. The whole card, like top to bottom, doesn't really have a whole lot of star power, but it should be a good card. There's a lot of matchups in there that should be solid. I mean, like I said, not a whole lot of well-known household names, so they're gonna go ahead and have to make you watch that show and make sure that they let you know who they are by the time it's over. So they're gonna have to earn this one.
Yeah, no, they definitely.
We've talked about this in the past that the UFC puts up 53 shows over 52 weeks. I mean, it's bananas.
Has there been any news on that buyout?
No, nothing has come forward since.
Just kind of disappeared?
Yeah, it just kind of faded away at this point.
That should be. I'm curious on whether or not that's going to come back into play. They talked a little bit this week about that Mayweather and
I talked about that on Monday. Did you see the Sunday conversation?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And it's funny. Just I don't know.
I spoke on it on Monday about my opinion. I'll kind of give you a shorthand recap on that. That him saying that Floyd needs him, I don't necessarily agree with as far as needing him. I know a lot of ESPN guys are saying that that's delusional and that's outrageous, but I do think that financially what matters is money to Floyd. In the fight game, it's always been about finances and money to Floyd. And I don't think that Conor's wrong in saying that if he comes out for number 50 against a regular boxing guy, he's not going to get the payday as if he was fighting Conor.
He's not, but he's still going to make 20 or 25 million.
But you're looking at $100 million if you fight Conor.
Yes, definitely.
And he even announced, I don't know if you caught this, he announced what the pay was under his current UFC contract, and he announced what Floyd offered him in that conversation. Did you catch that part?
I did not catch that one.
He told Kenny Mayne from ESPN that Floyd told him he'd take 100 and that Conor would have to take 7. So that's a big downside, and that's a pay cut for Conor.
That's just...
Now, Conor announced that he's working his way at the halfway point. Currently, he is halfway through a $100 million UFC contract.
How true is that?
I believe that that's true. I don't know the logistics and how it's spread out, but him having pay-per-view points, if he's making 10 mil like he did on his last fight, if that contract's 10 fights, that's 100 mil.
That is, yeah. Well, that's definitely...
I mean... it's not that he's making 100 mil all at once, but I believe that they locked him in long term and said, we'll pay you.
There was a fight last week, a boxing match. You would have enjoyed it. It was actually a good boxing match. It was Jermal. So there's twin brothers in the 154-pound division. Jermal and Jermel Charlo. Both of them good fighters.
Did they fight each other?
No.
Oh.
They both fought Friday night. Now, if I remember right, Jermel is already the champion. Okay, he had a belt already in the 154-pound division, and Jamal was fighting for the title that night against Austin Trout. Trout's a good fighter if you don't know anything about Austin Trout. So Jamal and Trout go 12 rounds. I didn't like the scores. There was 2 116, 112s, and 1 115, 113. I think it could have been 115, 113 either way. But these are two young fighters in the 154-pound division that could potentially, if this Canelo and Triple G thing for some reason falls through, these are two guys who could give both of those fighters a decent boxing match. They're both well schooled in boxing. They both can punch. They are bruisers. They can get in the phone booth and fight. So I thought that was interesting. I had never seen the younger brother, which is because they're twins. I think Jamal's the younger one. I had never seen him fight. I'd seen his brother because he's a champion and he'll be on HBO every once in a while. I wish I could have Showtime. But definitely, if you see them on a card, you definitely want to watch them. They're definitely entertaining boxers. Really doesn't matter who's across from them. That Trout fight with the younger brother was a good fight. It'll probably replay tomorrow, whether it's on Showtime or HBO. It's definitely one you want to watch. It was a good fight. I haven't seen very many good boxing matches this year yet, so I'm waiting for the September card. That's the one that Triple G and Canelo Alvarez are supposed to fight on. I haven't seen anything finalized on it, so hopefully they get off their butts and do it. We saw, was it Khan call out?
Yeah,
call out Alvarez and say, "Hey, step up and fight Triple G." There's a good. Happy to see fighters call other fighters out, but
how we doing on time?
We're good. We're 45 minutes.
Perfect. All right. So I announced this on Monday that because you weren't there, I couldn't tell the third Vegas story. So we have one more Vegas story to tell.
Okay, so I'm sometimes these Vegas trips they just blur together. So the first one was my golf tournament.
Was the golf tournament.
The second one
was the UFC and Super Bowl.
Okay, so the third one's the Conor McGregor Chad Mendes fight. Okay, yes. Okay. So
here's the deal. I got a new job, and right before that job officially started, you and I had a conversation
about watching McGregor.
And I said, if we ever get the chance, I told you we're going to go see him because we saw him in the crowd at the first fight.
Yeah, at the Silva fight. Yeah.
So I said, dude, if we're here, I want to see him. Well, they made shit happen, and at the time, he was supposed to fight Jose Aldo, who is your boy.
Well, I had taken him. I thought he would win. So little did I know.
We knew that shit was gonna have to go down. We were gonna have to make this happen. So
now, hold on. Didn't we get the tickets before you took the job, and then you took the job and went, oh shit?
No, I took the job and said I need this date off in advance.
That's right. Yeah,
because I knew that if we made this happen, I needed that day off. Yeah. So I took the job, and I was looking to get that day off. But the way that my probationary period worked out, it was like right after. So I couldn't ask directly and be like, hey, I need that day off.
Okay, hold on. So before you go to there, before you get there. So we knew we were going to go. So we talked to Louis.
Yeah, we called Louis for the biannual Vegas trip.
And Louis said, I'm down, and one of my boys wants to go. Your boy Adrian wanted to go. So I said, hey, you know what? We're all going to go. Just not sure what's going to happen. Well, thought we were going to be okay, so we bought everything at that point.
Yes.
And you had said, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. Well, as we got closer...
Well, no, we bought the tickets together.
No, we bought everything, because didn't you have to pay a change fee on your ticket?
On the flight.
We bought everything. We bought everything together. Well, we bought the tickets.
Tickets were first, and we'll be open, full disclosure. How much were each ticket? I believe I know what I remember what we paid.
I want to say they were $425.
Is that what it was?
I think it was $425.
It was $375 is what
it was between $375 and $425. Okay. It was no more than $425.
Okay, so we'll meet in the middle, say $4
Okay.
Okay. So $4. So we booked the flight.
Yeah.
We're talking about the flights. I said they're not going to let me have this day off. Because at the time, the boss that I was dealing with...
I don't even think it was that. I think we had talked, and we had said, you know what, it's probably better if you just don't even jack with it, right?
I asked for the day off, and they were like, we're not sure. They kind of gave me the runaround.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's, right after your probation.
Yeah.
So
and it's July weekend.
Oh, it was the weekend after. Yeah. So I said, you know what, I'm just not going to use one of my sick days. I'm just going to go to work. So the deal is that I had to pay an extra, like, $100.
It was $150, I think, is what it was.
To change my flight from a Friday to a Saturday, and fly back on Sunday. So we get these tickets, and we give the cash up front. Manuel handles the situation, gets everything squared away, books our room because after the first fight, Manuel's now a point card holder at the Luxor, and they were sending him offers left and right.
Did we mention that about my run the second time?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Well, during that run, they were like, if you hit so many points, we'll comp you rooms, this and that. Manuel's like, I got this. We go in and check it out. That date was blacked out.
Yeah.
So
Could not get a comp room.
That did not happen.
Bastards.
So leading into the fight, we're all excited as it gets closer. It was getting that exciting, feeling was building up. I was going to see my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
Going to the fights again. The atmosphere.
Yeah.
The first time was dope. Couldn't imagine how it was going to be this time.
Okay, so we're booked. So we're booked up. So basically, Friday after work.
Well, hold on. Before we get there, Ticketmaster called you back
3 times before the fight got here. Ticketmaster was sending me emails. The last time they called me, basically they were saying this event is sold out. We have no tickets. If you are interested in selling your tickets, the first email said we will pay $600 a ticket. I was like, I'm not giving these tickets up for $600. The second email said they would pay $800 a ticket. The third email said they would pay $1,000. The phone call said, what was it? $1,500 per ticket is what they were offering. Now, we didn't have front row seats either.
We were sitting dead middle.
Now, they weren't terrible.
No, they were middle.
They were good
right in the middle.
seats.
They were legitimately the front row of where you either go up or you go down. So it was right in the middle. I mean, it was like a perfect view. They kept people out of the aisles. So it was a perfect view. It was, a legitimately good deal on the tickets for that fight card. Now, so they called and said, hey, we'll pay $1,500 a ticket. Everybody and their brother that knew about this was calling us idiots if we did not sell these back. We got on the phone, called each other, called Louis. What's the game plan?
Yeah.
Is it worth $1,500 to turn around and give up these tickets? Because $1,500 would have paid for the trip and then some.
Yeah. Oh, would have left us some serious spending money.
So we were like, I called Louis. Louis, without a doubt, nope. I'm not selling the ticket. I said, good, because I'm not selling mine either.
We all agreed, though, that it was the experience we were going for. It's not like we were just kind of jumping and going to some kind of scrub fight or nothing. This was supposed to be... Now, mind you, the third email came before the card change. The phone call came after the card change. And we all agreed...
Well, no, there was a second phone call after the card change. So, as long as Aldo was on the card, it was $1,500 a ticket to buy back. Once Aldo was out 2 weeks before and Mendez stepped in, they called back and dropped the price back down to $700.
Yeah.
So, and even at that, I mean, $700 was a good deal, but we're like, nope, not happening. Now, the game plan for you and Louis was...
and his boy Adrian.
And Adrian.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Adrian met you guys there.
Adrian drove there. That's right.
The flight plan for you and Louis was to fly out Friday early or afternoon.
No, we flew out like at 5, I think.
Oh, okay, so
5. It was normal time.
I go into work and I get a message from you, and it's you still wide awake with Louis, and there's a bunch of noise and all this stuff going on.
We were at Tao. Yeah, we're at the Tao at the
club there, whatever
Cosmo.
club is in there.
It's at Cosmo, right?
No,
where's Tao? It's a marquee. It's a Cosmo.
Is it?
Yeah, that's all in the same place. It's at the Cosmo. The Tao is there. It was their nightclub. So we're out there, and I'm sending Justin because. We're out there. Basically, we show up. We got
so mind you, they got there. I had to be at work Saturday at 2:30 in the morning, and at that time, I had to get up at 1:30 to be at work at 2:30. So you knew I was awake.
So me and Louis decided, and his boy Adrian decided that we're gonna go and hang out at this club, and Louis made a phone call or two and got it all worked out. So we end up going over there. So I'm on there, and it's a pretty nice spot. We got a good people watching spot. I'm taking pictures of people. I start sending them to Justin. Mind you, it's 2 in the morning. I'm sending him pictures, and Louis is like, what are you doing? I said, I'm sending my boy some pictures. You're going to wake him up? I said, no, this fool's on his way to work, or he's at work already.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I said, so I start sending him just pictures of everywhere. Anything I could get my camera on. It just happened to be there was a tub with 2 girls dancing in it because they were like go-go dancers. I send him that one. I'm just like sending random pictures, and he's like, really? Yeah. So Justin's at work. Me and Louis and Adrian are over there. We're having a good time. It's just packed with people. Pierre Garçon was there that night. It was pretty cool. One of the I want to say the highlights or lowlights. Sorry, Adrian, I got to tell this story, bro. My bad. But he was dancing with this girl, and they were up on there's like these chairs and couches and stuff, and they're standing up on this couch, and he's dancing with her. He's doing things that guys do with girls in nightclubs, I guess. And
single guys do.
Single guys do. I don't know how this happened, but I know I turned around. I had just gotten back from the bathroom. I turned around, and poor Adrian's rolling across the floor. I guess he stepped backwards too far, or he tried to hit it too hard or something, and he just rolled. Homeboy's about my size, maybe a little bit shorter. He just took a nasty spill. Now, by this time, it's early in the morning. It's like 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning. We had enough alcohol in us to really not tell us we had any broken bones or anything. So at that point, I was like, okay, we're done. I am gone. I tell Louie and Adrian, I'm out of here. Yeah. I turn around and leave. I don't know how I got to the cab, but I know I got to the cab. I know the cab took me to Luxor because I woke up at Luxor in the morning in the room. My normal old guy self, I get up. I go over to House of Blues, have my steak and eggs.
The regular.
And I'm waiting for Louie to wake up. Now, Adrian's not staying with us. This right now is just me and Louie in the room, so Louie's asleep in the room. So I'm just kind of walking around, not walking the strip because I didn't like going outside. But I like the Luxor. There's that shopping area right in that area.
Right.
So I'm just walking around. It's pretty cool. Louie calls me. Finds like, let's go have breakfast. He didn't realize it was 12 o'clock already. Mm-hmm. So I say, hey, it's lunchtime, bro. So we went to a hamburger place. I wish I could remember the name of it. It's pretty good. So Louis tells me, so where's your boy Justin at? Isn't he coming? I said, yeah. I said, I think he flies out at 3 or 3:30.
Well, it actually wasn't even 3.
What was it supposed to be?
It was 5.
Okay, 5 he was supposed to fly.
So here's what happened. I go to work. I get the pictures. I'm like, really? You got to rub it in? I'm at work. I get off of work about 12 o'clock. I drive home. I go home. I literally had the ticket to the fight. My boarding pass was on my phone. All I took was the clothes I had on my back. So I had on like business casual clothes. So that way if we went out after, we were good to go. So we turn around and I get out of there and my girl turns around and goes, hey, do you need a ride? Yes. We get to the airport. I get there early enough to check in, go through security, all that stuff. I'm sitting there waiting in the airport, and I'm just like losing it. Because
now this is your first flight alone?
Yes.
Yes, that's okay.
So any other time we had flown to Vegas or back, the first time I flew, I only flew there and then drove back, and I had somebody with me. Then I flew with you, and Fernie on that flight was like, dude, are you all right? Dude, are you all right? And you were like, hey, leave him alone. Now I'm flying by myself. So I was like, as long as I'm not sitting near the window, I should be fine. We should be good. No, I'm sitting in the aisle, okay? And I'm sitting next to a couple, a man and a woman. They're probably a little older than I am, probably closer to your age. So I'm sitting there, and they're just talking. And I'm like, okay, just breathe. Just relax. Plane gets ready to take off. I'm not near any windows. It's already getting, to the point where the sun's starting to break down a little bit. It's just summertime, And for those of you who don't know, the July card for the UFC is their biggest card of the year most of the time because they have a fight expo that leads up to into that all week long that leads into those fights. Yeah. So we turn around and I'm flying there and I'm just like, oh man. Now on this plane, I flew Allegiant and they don't have Wi-Fi on the plane, so I can't get a hold of you. All you know is that I made the flight. So I turn around, I get off the plane, I literally run through the airport in Vegas, which is McCarran Airport. Yeah. Get outside, and there's no line for the taxis. I was like, this is meant to be. I run up there, I said, get me to the MGM. I literally text Manuel, I was like, dude, I'm in the cab. And would you text me back? Hey, prelims are over here in a second. You better get here. I literally walked straight back. As I'm walking straight back, what do I see? Tons, probably hundreds of guys singing "Ole, ole, ole, ole." All these Irish bastards running around in green and orange and white suits and the tricolored flag, everything. So I get to security, get in, give them my ticket. I start looking around where I'm supposed to go. I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to go here? Then I realize, hey, you know what? I'm here by the merch. There's nobody here. I'm gonna give me a McGregor shirt. Yeah. So grab me a shirt. Take off to my seats. Our seats were perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, man, they could not have been better. We paid less. No, wait a minute.
No, we paid more than the first time.
No, I was going to say, we paid less than we did for the Silva fight, if I remember right.
No, we paid more.
There was a little bit more?
Because the Silva fight was $250.
Okay.
So I turn and hook a right, and there's Manuel and Louis sitting in front. Adrian didn't go to the fight.
No.
So Louis and Manuel sitting right there, front and off to the right. Perfect. Right next to the DJ. Yeah. That's where it was. It was next to the DJ. And Louis does DJing on the side. So he loved being next to the DJ booth. So I get there and it's like, dude, I made it, bro. But like literally, I walk in 30 seconds later, they're walking out the first fighter on the main card. Yeah. What happens? First guy out the gate, flying knee to the face, knocked out.
That was awesome.
I have the video.
You still have it?
It's on my flash drive. I backed up everything. The guy hits a flying knee and then turns around, and you hear Manuel on the thing as I put the phone up on the big screen for the replay, and you hear Manuel go, "Oh shit!" as the guy catches the knee.
That was fucking awesome.
Now, here's the deal. We talked about who was on the fight card for when we saw Silva and Diaz, right?
This fight card.
Because we were like, Joe Lozon was on this fight card. It was like, damn.
No, was this the McDonald and card?
Yes.
Yes.
So here's the deal.
McDonald?
So we're like, oh man, like, I wonder who.
Okay, well, you're looking up the card.
I got it.
The card?
Yep. So we're sitting there and we're like, oh man, like, who has, these fights, like, are they going to be dope? Like, are we looking at any bets? I didn't put any money down. I wanted to, but just didn't have it. And then we're like, oh man. So here's some funny idea of what we're looking at here. So the first main card fight was Yoedes Cedino and Cody Pfister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second fight was Neil Seary and Luis Smolka. Okay, which I don't really know any of those four.
But they were all
good fights. Not one fight on that card went to decision.
No.
Now here's where it gets good. Cody Garbrandt, who is the main event this weekend, was on the undercard against Henry Barones. Okay? Then here's where it starts getting serious. Cathedral Pendred, he fought John Howard. Mike Swick fought Alex Garcia. Matt Brown fought Tim Means.
I forgot he was on that one.
Brad Pickett fought Thomas Alameda.
Yeah.
So Alameda and Garbrandt, who is the main event this weekend,
we're on the undercard.
We're on the undercard.
Yeah.
Gunnar Nelson was on that against Brandon Thatch. Dennis Bermudez fought Jeremy Stevens.
Jeez.
Stevens is on the card tonight or a Sunday night.
I didn't realize that was such a big...
The co-main event. The 2015 Fight of the Year. Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald.
They beat the crap
in one of the sickest fights ever.
And we were
there. It was a war. A legit war. For the first round, these two got booed out of the building.
Yeah.
Legitimately
I
got booed.
if I remember right, I went to take a leak. I was like, I'm out of here.
You went to take a piss. I went to get nachos. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to get nachos. Well, in the concessions, they have
the TVs. Well, they got the TVs everywhere, yeah.
So I'm looking up, and this Irish guy's talking to me and stuff, and he tells me that he flew all the way in from Australia. I was like, what the hell? Just for the fight? He's like, yeah, I'm just here for the weekend. I was like, damn, like, that's crazy.
There was a lot of guys like
that. Then
this
lady walks up, and she's just like, oh, man, like, that's crazy. The fights are going on, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, it's getting good. And I was like, what? And I stand up, I look up. Sure enough, they're beating the piss out of each other, and it's good. So I get back to my seat. I grab nachos and beer, give Louis beer, you beer. We're sitting there watching, and it starts to get crazy. Because now you get into the fourth round, and they look like zombies.
Yeah.
Because Rory's lip gets split in half. Robbie's lip gets split in half. Rory's broken nose already. And his eyes are just getting beat to piss. Fifth round comes, and Robbie crushes his nose straight forward on his straight left hand, and he crumbles. Rory crumbles. Right. I was like, oh, man. So now we're getting into the main event.
Yeah.
And it's my boy. It's Conor McGregor. Chad Mendez from Sacramento.
Now, Chad came in first.
Yeah. Okay. Right? No. Conor came in. So here's the deal.
That's right.
So Chad, if you don't know, and you live in the Valley, Chad came from Hanford. And they announce him Hanford by way of Sacramento.
Yeah.
So he fights out of Sacramento with Team Alpha Male, I believe is who it is. It's Uriah Faber's team.
Yeah.
So they turn around, and this was the rebranding. They had just done the rebranding on how they were presenting everything and all this stuff. So who plays Conor? All of a sudden, Sinead O'Connor comes up and gets literally
10 feet from us.
Like, no joke, right in front. Yeah. I found a video on YouTube with me and Louie behind her videoing it going on. So during this time, they show Conor on the big screen. People go batshit for him. Nuts. He smirks at the camera, and everybody loses it. So he walks out. Chad Mendez. Who plays Chad Mendez out? Aaron Lewis. He plays Country Boy.
But you could not hear this.
I love Aaron Lewis. I love Stain. They're both, his band and him equally. They're both dope. You cannot hear a word over the ole, 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 ole.
They drowned him out.
They literally 17,000 people were at that fight, and they drowned him out.
Yeah.
Chad gets in. They do the announcement. It's cool. Right before the fight starts, I look at you. I look at Louis. You want to bet on the fight?
Action.
Louis takes it. All right, you're on. Turn around. All of a sudden, we're going. Fight, and all of a sudden, Conor gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, he hits a spinning heel kick. Everybody's like, oh, shit. Catches him in the stomach. Then all of a sudden, Chad takes him to the ground, and he's in trouble. And they're talking shit to each other the entire time.
He was dropping those elbows on
and
him.
he cut his eye pretty solid. Then, second round comes out. Chad goes for a guillotine. Dumps all his energy on the ground. And Conor starts making the headway of punching and kicking again. And all of a sudden, I start grabbing your shoulder, shaking the shit out of you. So... everybody goes batshit crazy. Conor wins by knockout. They stop the fight.
Yeah, they stopped the fight.
Louis like, let's go. I was like, I want to hear the interview. So we wait, and then we get out, and we walk from the MGM back to the Luxor.
Yeah.
So there was, it was like a party type deal, and it was Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, and Frankie Edgar were going to be there. It was like an after party deal. We're like, oh, let's go. We should do that. Blah blah blah. All of a sudden, I realize that Frankie Edgar and Demetrius Johnson are not drinking. They're both drinking water, and they both have earplugs in.
Yeah.
So they don't give a damn about being there. It's like, okay, cool. So at this point, you were over it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm out. I'm done. A few minutes later, I get up to take a piss. I'm like, you know what? I'm out too. So Adrian and Louis are standing
hanging out there.
So I go to leave. Well, I'd been drinking at the fights. I'm still coherent. I'm not drunk or like, oh, I'm out of it. I go to the tables. Like, let's try some luck. I lost $250 in 20 minutes. I was like, it's time to go to bed. So get up, go to the room, go lay down, get up in the morning. You hit me up. Hey, I'm going to have steak and eggs. House of Blues. You coming? Hell yeah, let's go. Turn around and go. Have the steak and eggs. I said, you know what? What time's our flight? Hey, we got to be back over at the airport by 11.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, again, all I had with me was the clothes I had with me. So I went ahead. I went back to the MGM and went back to the tables. Won all my money back. Broke even. And you're like, hey, we're headed to the airport. Where you at? I'll meet you there.
At the airport.
Turn around. Got in a shuttle because a cab was $6 in the shuttle to go to the airport, where the cab ride would have been like 15. So I jumped in the shuttle, went straight to the airport, walked right up, beat you guys to the airport. Yeah. You guys showed up. They're like, wait, what happened? I just won all my money back.
Yeah.
What? Won all my money back. We got on the plane. You guys were sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
I sat by the window, and I closed the shade after we took off. It wasn't until we were in the air that I opened the shade. And then we started talking about like seeing all the small towns and stuff on the way in. We were literally back by 3 o'clock. I did a 22-hour turnaround to go to Vegas and back for the UFC fights to watch Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes and that entire card. We could have sold those tickets for $1,500, and they pulled Aldo, and we looked like geniuses.
Yeah.
I would not trade that experience for
not
anything.
No, and I'm not even a super UFC fan, and I wouldn't have. Just understanding that you saw McGregor win his first title, you saw his first title win. To me, even before that Lawler-McDonald fight, that thing was just...
It was wicked.
You're never going to see something like that again. I mean, you're going to see good fights, but that one just had the mark of a great fight, I mean, just to see that, it was ridiculous.
It was pretty amazing.
It was a real good turnaround. But
it was all that. And then Louis goes to leave, and he goes, well, I'll see you guys in 6 months. Because at that point, we had gone every 6 months.
He's getting excited. We're about a month and a half. Not even that. Less than that.
Not even that. It's
a little over a month for UFC 200. Looking forward to that. That should be fun. But that was.
People still think I'm batshit crazy for doing 22 hours.
Those that are winning, those that were keeping track, my running tally at Vegas is still in the positive.
Yeah.
I did pull about 7 bills over the weekend over there. And for those of you who are wondering how I do it, I go in there and I play $10 a hand, and I'll do that for 10 or 15 minutes. And as soon as I notice that the tables turn 2 hands in, I'll start going $25, $50 a hand, and I'll do that for 10 or 15 minutes. And if you play the hands right, and you play, it means hitting 16, right. It means staying on 12 when the dealer's showing a 5 or 4, 5 or 6. If you play it right and you play that little run, when you lose 2 hands in a row, you get up and leave. 9 out of 10 times you're going to get up with money.
Yeah.
And it hasn't failed me in Vegas yet. The only time I ever lost money was
that first time we went?
Well, not even that.
That first time we got murdered when we stayed at Treasure Island.
Oh, well, that was the golf tournament, yeah. But then I won the golf trophy. I made up all the money at the freaking golf tournament, so it didn't even matter. But my brother's wedding, when he got married, we drove down there to go catch him get married. He didn't tell anybody, and I think I lost about $100. I was playing the $2 tables. But I barely even remember that trip. But yeah, so
that's the third Vegas story.
Third Vegas story. We don't have one after that.
That's it. Oh, no. That's the third Vegas story. You're going back for 200. I've decided to step back, be a little bit grown up about it.
There's no missing Super Bowl next year though. We're going for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I already told Christina. So
I chose to sit out 200 this year for 2 reasons. One, the Conor Diaz fight was pulled. Obviously, I wanted to see that. I mean, it's a highly anticipated fight, and the card's going to be dope. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a great card. I'm not a big John Jones fan. I hope Daniel Cormier beats the shit out of him. I don't see it happening, but I hope so. There's that card stacked. The fight that you did not want to hear earlier in a previous episode that was added, that one's going to be dope. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of good stuff going on there.
Should be.
And obviously going into the expo that week, I'm sure if you're out and about before on Friday or whatever, you'll see some people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So that for me, the other reason why is I'm trying to be grown up, and I'm working on moving to a different place. So got to save some money, and as much fun as the Vegas trip is, I got to make the smart decision and direct the money in a different direction. So.
For those of you wondering why I'm not being grown up, I'm too old to be grown up. So
well, you're a little bit more established than I am, so it's different.
But no, definitely. I think, and in all honesty, after this trip, I think the next trip that me and Justin take to Vegas will probably include the women. So there's a good chance of that. So
and the next trip, I'm saying this right now on the podcast, so it will be here. The next trip that you and I take that is not Vegas needs to be Boston.
Definitely, I have Boston and I have Cincinnati on my bucket list. That's the next two on the bucket list because Jerry Jones Land was supposed to be one. Well, my brother took care of that one by booking us that trip in October. So I'm gonna go watch Cincinnati play Dallas in Dallas. So I'll get to that one gets crossed off. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to schedule something to where we fly that way and we stay in Cincinnati one night, watch Cincinnati, and then just fly over to Boston, keep going to Boston,
right?
Or go to Boston and come back this way.
And if we can make it work, where it's like in the middle of like November, or December,
well, that's what I'm saying.
We can do both.
Yeah, you fly all the way out to Boston and you watch them play one or two nights, and then you fly back. You have a layover in Cincinnati on Sunday, and then you fly back Monday from Cincinnati. So. That's definitely doable.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Doable. It's definitely doable.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well,
here's the deal. Rundown for the weekend. Like we said, we got Warriors OKC tomorrow night, Game 6.
Let's see if we got a Cavs update.
Oh, that game should be just about over.
Real close. So it was 13 when the last time I checked. So
where are we at here? NBA. 106-83. 4 minutes left.
That one's done.
This game's over. Cleveland's going to close it out tonight. Yeah. They'll be waiting for the winner. So that's OKC, like we said, Golden State tomorrow afternoon. On Sunday, UFC fights on Fox Sports 1. They start at 4:00. And Monday, as of Monday, the plan is to have our big name guest.
Oh, he will be here
He
Monday.
gets to town. He comes into town tomorrow at noon. So he'll be here. That'll give him a day and a half or so to hang out and get his bearings.
Yeah.
He is about 4 weeks out from his rematch.
That quick? So he got released already?
He as soon as the swelling and everything went down with the situation, he that sounded bad. Then he was getting ready. They said about this. They gave him a timetable, and we'll talk more about that when he's here. Yeah. He's already confirmed he's down. And so I would like to do it Monday just because there's going to be a lot of craziness next Friday for him and everything they got going on. He's like we said, the biggest name we've had on here for sure. Probably the biggest name we'll have on here for a while.
Yeah. That's why we make some connections.
And
Tiger, my offer to teach you is still open.
Hopefully this with him, get his name out there, put him out a little bit. Maybe he could shoot some guys that he works with that live out here in the West Coast. You know, some love for us, and we can reach out to them too. So as of today, we've been totally unprofessional, and we'll see you Monday.
See you Monday.